All right, everyone, I know this is a little bit belated, but I wanted to weigh in on sort of analyze actually the Joe Rogan podcast chat that he had for hours and hours with Alex Jones, which was completely off the rails. Think of it this way. And it was sort of a meeting of the minds. You know, Rogan and Jones have huge audiences, so there's a large number of people that wanted to watch it. I can't even remember exactly how many people were watching at peak live. It was many tens of thousands of people. It was like probably number one on YouTube at the moment. For hours, again, it was like what, a 4-hour fucking chat that they had? And it was crazy, and it was perfectly strategically made. I'll tell you why. And this is what I've said about especially Jones for a while now. Alex Jones, if you read like his court statement with regards to all of the things that people were alleging about him, and he goes into that a little bit on this interview with regards to the Sandy Hook families and stuff. What he is saying, some people jump down his throat because he's like, well, I play, on screen I play a persona sort of. What he's saying is, I think he believes honestly in many of the things he says, but some of the more over-the-top behavior, number one, and statements he makes and the way he makes them, number two, and three technically, is meant to draw an audience in, entertain them, while more subtly giving them actual information. For instance, I think Alex Jones is absolutely against gun control. I don't think he's a shill in any way on that issue, or free speech. I think he does absolutely want it. I think he does worry about the globalization of the world, all these different issues. Do I believe for a second that he believes that DMT injecting space aliens have come down to try to enslave mankind? No, of course not. But here's the thing. You use that entertainment in order to draw people in and then red pill them. This is why they went after InfoWars so early, because that method, that formula does work. Unfortunately, in his case and in the case of others, it leaves him vulnerable, because then they can scream conspiracy theorist, say he's radicalizing people, which is bullshit, and then try to get him deplatformed. Now, they have deplatformed him fundamentally across the entire polite face of the internet. But InfoWars has a major presence on BitChute, is on Gab. Their website's doing fine. The deplatforming didn't actually really work, and now with Gab stretching itself forth, and BitChute still planning some things in the future, it's like InfoWars is sitting pretty. The martyrs of this age are the ones that are going to carry forth very, very easily in the next paradigm, I think. Over the next 20 years, those that are being targeted, they're being harassed by the MSM, they're being suppressed and censored in some or all ways, they're being depersoned completely, or they're just kicked off a site or two. Regardless, those are the faces that you need to be listening to in the future. I say that, of course. Alex Jones, he likes to sell, iodine and water filters and stuff. A person's got to make a living, especially when you have the studio existence. This is, by the way, this is, why I prefer to avoid that sort of setup, and why I prefer to be solo and have, the home office and stuff, because I don't have to worry about that as much. But, I mean, it's like, what's the difference between buying iodine from Alex Jones and buying it off some Chinese vendor from eBay, other than it was, hopefully benefiting a U.S. worker instead of somebody from somewhere else? What's the fucking difference? It's marked up 50 cents. Okay, I don't really care about that. It's still iodine. It is still useful. Water filters, okay. It's just same as any other water filter. So what difference does it make whether you get it from Infowars.com or, again, you go down to Home Depot and get a water filter? There is no fucking difference. People want to pretend that he's not supposed to make a living. He's supposed to do everything for free. In order to be an activist, you have to live like a hermit lifestyle. No, I reject that. It's like I make money doing what I do, but I'm still pushing free speech. Main existence here on video, half the stuff I do now is defending people from censorship because it's so fucking prevalent. But anyway, I wanted to analyze this. Because again, this is the reason why the Alex Joneses and people that are sort of, or like Gavin, because Gavin is technically infotainment. He does humorous things in the context of his work while doing sort of on-the-ground journalism. Jones does this. Loomer and certain others have done this. It's why she's been largely deplatformed. And among other people, I mean, the list is quite long now of people that are engaged in this sort of real-life style behavior. A lot of entertainment. Crowder getting suppressed on Facebook. And in general, these people are not conservative in the sense of like a tradcon or far right, like an evangelocon or something. There's a strong libertarian streak, and then there are people that have sort of like cultural nationalism in mind. And these are really the general targets of censorship right now. That's because it's effective what they're doing. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You look at their audience sizes and the rate of growth. I wouldn't be surprised to see Paul Joseph Watson get knocked off at some point by these platforms, to get deplatformed by them. I wouldn't be surprised in the least. I wouldn't be surprised if Crowder was disappeared from YouTube tomorrow because of these people doing this shtick. I wouldn't be surprised if they went after Joe Rogan in the wake of... Now, you know, the next big thing that they'll start saying is guilt by association. They'll say, well, Rogan had Alex Jones on to plug InfoWars and say his thing. He should be treated as though he was InfoWars or Alex Jones and deplatformed, because you shouldn't be platforming bigots or conspiracy theorists and stuff. That's what they'll go for. That's a bit of my analysis too. But Alex Jones is a great infotainer, and that's what he does. That's what a lot of people didn't understand. Like when the New York Times and groups like that attacked InfoWars, said, well, they're violating rules and saying crazy shit. People, the soccer moms of America that don't know anything about Alex Jones, they took one look at his content, or at least the analysis of his content from biased sites that wanted to get him deplatformed, and they said, oh my God, he's saying all this crazy shit. Now he reiterates during this interview that he never even said half the things that they said that he did, and that was used as an excuse to get him cut off from the mainstream internet. The idea was to sever him from the mainstream internet so that he wasn't actually able to properly defend himself from that deplatforming. We've seen this in other cases too. It's not someone gets banned from a platform here and there. It's like they get their Facebook page removed. It's more like they get deplatformed everywhere at the same time. It is a coordinated effort. It's being coordinated on two ends, by the way. Silicon Valley. Like when Facebook and Instagram both simultaneously cut Tommy Robinson off, that was Zuckerberg's decision. It's because Zuckerberg didn't want to have to deal with that effect on ad revenue, number one, and number two, I think politically hates people like Robinson, doesn't like the idea that people would, you know, have their nation in mind. He is a globalist. Because he wants to sell, you know, Facebook data to the whole globe. That's the whole fucking reason. Or with InfoWars, where the one holdout was Twitter, and then very quickly, I guess nobody called Dorsey in on the meeting, and he's like, wow, he hasn't broken any of our rules. Oh, well, now he has, so now we're going to kick him off 2 weeks later for stuff he said years ago. It was bullshit. And Jack Dorsey's the least honest among them. I mean, again, though, the next step will be guilt by association. There is coming a day, prediction here, where you will be judged by those that you've interviewed or gone on shows with, things other people have said, like on your broadcast or whatever, or on your comments section. They're already doing it with comments. You know, now people can get their comments area closed down if people come and say creepy shit on them, as long as they got picture. Yeah, if they've ever had a kid in any of their videos, no comments allowed for you, even if it's clear the kid's not the one running the channel. And it's an attack by the mainstream media. Especially prior to 2020, they want to lock down things as much as possible because they're afraid, they're scared. It's not working very well. Alt Tech is nicely compensating. Get on Dissenter, by the way. By the way, there were shills. I know this is totally off the topic. There were shills this morning, actually, on 4chan trying to attack Dissenter by saying, well, it's been compromised. You can't log 4chan threads on there. It's a glitch. It's literally a bug. Bring it to their attention, they'll fix it. But nice attack. Nice attempt to keep people from using the service. I have no doubt that the people that were shilling, fairly obviously, on that thread, actually were leftists. I have no doubt whatsoever. Now, these aren't people that are afraid of it being compromised. These are people that want you to think that it's been compromised. Trust me. The most cursory linguistic analysis will show you that. Unfortunately, most people aren't interested in linguistics, especially linguistic anthropology or its application within psychological operations. You know, you got to learn a little bit about these things. I don't mean from like David Icke or fucking Henry McCowers. No, I mean legitimate sources, like something closer to the government maybe. And once you realize that, you can see the propaganda all around you. Most of it's aimed towards trying to dumb people down and enslave people. Alex Jones comes out while talking to Rogan. And this is funny. He's like, yeah, they approached me early on. They're like, oh, you're so great, but you have to join us and fight from the inside to change the system. And he refused, and he claims that that's why they're after him. I believe it. Yeah. Having been approached by people who wanted me to temper my message, oh, just stop talking about X, Y, and Z. Don't rock the boat. Here, we want to give you business partnerships and stuff. You don't think I've been approached by people who have said the same fucking shit? We're talking people who are recognizable. It happens. If you have any audience at all, don't let other people with significant audiences and any charisma at all tell you that it doesn't happen to them. And, you know, when somebody's hovering 6 figures over your head, I'm sure it probably becomes a temptation. That being said, of course, you know, I spurned that idea myself. Don't worry, I'm going to keep clanking my spoon. I'm not going to start, you know, wearing a shirt unless it's, you know, fucking gothic or something like that. I decided to temper myself to the extent that I'll wear a shirt sometimes. I prefer to keep it open, but I think that this look kind of works. Especially, I've got Roz Williams on my shirt. It can't get better than that. He fucking killed himself. he was the original goth. He actually was suicidally depressed. By the way, tale has it he left roses and candles out for his friends to find his dead, mangled body. Very interesting. He hanged himself on April Fool's Day, actually, back in the 1990s. That's about all. Peace out.